and liftoff. Liftoff of the 25th Space Shuttle mission, and it has cleared the tower.
How are you doing on January 28th, 1986?
Well, at that time, I was 19 years old, and I was working in a plant nursery in Clearwater, Florida, which is on the Gulf Coast, about 3 hours away from Cape Canaveral, where they were setting off the shuttles at the time. At the time, that space shuttle program was so popular and successful that the space shuttles were going off quite often, more than once a year, and it had become quite common for them going off. So it really was no big deal. On a clear day, we could see the vapor plumes from the other side of the state, and even though we saw many of them. It still always gave me a thrill to see him go off.
3 engines down, 104%.
Challenger, go with throttle up. Challenger, go with throttle up.
1 minute 15 seconds. Velocity 2,900 feet per second. Altitude 9 nautical miles. Downrange distance 7 nautical miles.
What was your initial reaction to the explosion?
Well, that particular morning, we didn't even, we knew it was going off, but we didn't even go outside, to watch it. We were working in a barn, a big open-ended, like warehouse type of barn, we called it. And I remember very clearly my boss running through the barn, yelling that the space shuttle had exploded. And we all immediately went out, and you could just see the vapor plume that normally went straight, it just veered up down. And it was just devastating that this successful program was now, going to be grounded for many years. And knowing that no one could have survived that was just very sobering.
So what was the
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd planned to speak to you tonight to report on the State of the Union. But the events of earlier today have led me to change those plans. Today is a day for mourning and remembering. Nancy and I are pained to the core by the tragedy of the Shuttle Challenger. We know we share this pain with all of the people of our country. This is truly a national loss. 19 years ago, almost to the day, we lost 3 astronauts in a terrible accident on the ground. But we've never lost an astronaut in flight. We've never had a tragedy like this. And perhaps we've forgotten the courage it took for the crew of the shuttle. But they, the Challenger 7, were aware of the dangers, but overcame them and did their jobs brilliantly. We mourn 7 heroes: Michael Smith, Dick Scobie, Judith Resnick, Ronald McNair, Ellison Onizuka, Gregory Jarvis, and Krista Mikaloff. We mourn their loss as a nation together.
Like after the explosion, with the nation and everything and on the news?
Shock and disbelief, and of course there's many rumors, and I think it came out finally that the astronauts were probably alive all the way until they hit the water. They were all found in the shuttle, intact. And then when the facts came out that it was the O-rings, a very inexpensive part that apparently NASA went cheap on. They knew there was problems. They had been warned about how they reacted in cold weather. They were told begged by certain people, engineers on that launch, not to let that go up. So it could have been very easily prevented. All those lives would have been saved to save, you know, a little bit of money on some parts. And that was pretty devastating.
And how did this affect the space program?
Well, it was grounded for several years, and then when they finally started going back up again, it was exciting again. And then, of course, we had the other shuttle that they didn't make it back. They burned up coming back in, and that was pretty much the end of the shuttle program.
Word at this time. Reports from the flight dynamics officer indicate that the vehicle.
The crew of the Space Shuttle Challenger honored us for the manner in which they lived their lives. We will never forget them, nor the last time we saw them this morning, as they prepared for their journey and waved goodbye and slipped the surly bonds of Earth to touch the face of God. Thank you.